How's it going, Cancerian community? Now you know who it is. It's Soul Tigress with a wonderful story for this special frequency. Alright, first off, thank you for your time and your patience as I navigate the story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Now, remember that this is a safe and sacred space where we call in the angels, guides, divine, universal, as well as ancestor energies to come in and be the guides and protectors for the positive messages that are going to come out. Keep in mind that this channel right here is all about self-empowerment. What that means is building these stepping stones for us getting closer to our soul being. Why? Because it connects us with a higher source. Now, let's go ahead and dive into the vibe of the story. This, if you had watched the short stories that came out recently, there's kind of some reminiscence of that energy here. Now, what I get is there's going to be some kind of conflicting energy that Cancerian's going to be faced with. Either they already are being faced with, they have been faced with, or they're going to get ready to. Some kind of sticky, it's a really sticky situation. But the first thing that comes in is do it in the name of love. Mirrored insecurities, withheld passions of entrapment. What happens outside of you is not your fault. And those could be from others' actions. At odds ends with the intuition. Open up about how you feel. Will bring balance. Questions or questioning your success. Reminiscence again of the short story here, because this conflict is going to make what happened in the short story was there was some kind of, it could have been some kind of abrupt change that was coming in, and it could have to do with another, or it could have to do with the Cancer and just the Cancerian self and them being true to who they want to be and how they want to operate in this experience. Just remember, for everyone, it takes time finding ourselves, who we want to be. Your success isn't about how you think of yourself, but how you operate at this moment. And this goes back into that short story. Because for Cancerian, it almost felt like a rug was going to be pulled from under their feet with something that is out of their control. And when Cancerian reflects on what's happening, it's going to be a lot of self-blaming, a lot of not feeling successful kind of thing. And it takes time, and it takes experiences from others who bring in different lessons. And at this moment, Cancerians' thoughts about themselves, because they kind of have this harsh view onto themselves and their success, is not your success right now. Step outside of the thoughts and look at how you come into your world, how you operate in your world. Right now, stepping out of the busyness, the anxieties, the fear. Could be the bitterness. It could be the jealousy. It could be the holding the grudges of the thoughts. And stepping outside of that chaos and just stepping into the moment and seeing how you operate your days. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I definitely have the Divine's Eye here, watching everything that's happening. So that tells me that this is being guided in. This is happening for a reason. It is somehow tied to Cancer true self. True self. There's something that has to happen that is going to help unblock a side to them. So also, I don't do love tarot. But this, when I looked at this deck to get the interpretation of these energies here, it almost feels like a third party situation. Something was found out about somebody, something, somewhere that Cancerian wasn't really sure that was there. Maybe they didn't follow their intuition on some signs that were happening. I'm not sure. This could be person, place, or thing. So let's go ahead and get started with the introduction with the Talisman Oracle, that guiding eye that the divine has on this situation. What is it that needs to come out? So right away, closest to the camera is Destiny in reverse. I get that feeling. Somebody feels like the lock or the key has been thrown away to the lock that would unlock the destiny. I have resilience. And I have leadership. Tigers have a very vast, very far-reaching territory when they're in the wild. I feel like this Cancerian is going to have a lot that happens that's going to affect their environment. But the tricky situation is how can they see the resilience that they've had, even still leading their life the way that they've had. What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, I got resilience looking back at this leadership. In past stories, I picked up that the Cancerian that I pick up a lot is a leader. They're natural leaders. It's their destiny to be a leader. And there's no understanding, there's no seeing that when this rug gets pulled out from this Cancerian's feet, there's no seeing the success of their leadership. There's no seeing that they have the strength to go in another direction. It's like because the rug gets pulled out from under their feet, their destiny is gone. Oh my goodness. That's not true. That is not true. Could be that you're being bumped into another direction. As you see, you don't see the good luck. You don't see the full circle of things that are coming out. The diamond of the lesson that is there. You're not always going to find a ladybug in every single season of the year. Ladybugs are not going to be found in the winter and like the late fall. It's getting too cold for them at those times, depending on where you live. But even in this climate, I don't see ladybugs in the winter. So this good luck, what I get is a sense of just opening up, because here, I don't know if you can see, there's a ladybug that's flying down there. Being open to not shutting yourself down. Being open to how you've been able to do things once, twice, maybe 3 times when you felt like the rug's been pulled out from under you a few times before. It may not be to this extent, but it's happened before. Remember, nobody's life is perfect. But you made it through those other times. Don't forget that. And what I have here is karmic justice. You're not seeing that. This karmic justice is going to have to do with another. This lesson that you're going to learn here has to do with another. We're not going to be able to get around that. I would even say this is a lot of 8th house energy, a transformation through a relationship. Let's see what comes out for the last card. Yeah, we have cutting ties here. Maybe this is something that Cancerian doesn't want to do because it will take away their blessed day. Maybe it takes away another energy. Somebody, something that they felt like that, how do I put it, that they helped them motivate them. They helped them do more. Maybe somehow this other energy was very involved in this Cancerian's life, because remember, this could be person, place, or thing, and person could be many different relationships, from co-workers, family members, spouses, acquaintances, etc., etc. But there's something here that's asking us to be open to cutting this tie, seeing how this is going to come to full circle. If you stay trying to keep the inevitable from happening, then that's almost like staying in a cage. We have to let this happen. We have to be open to this happening. Karmic justice here. This is being brought in by a higher power, higher type of energy. So let's take a dive deeper here. What is it that needs to come out for the present? What is it? Guides and ancestors. Well, what I get is if you fear, if others are talking really ill about you or whatever happens about that, I don't get that. I don't get that if that's a fear here, Cancerian. Alright, so what needs to come out, guides and ancestors, for the present? So with this blessed day, when this person walks away, it affects the harmony and the emotions. Maybe this is something that has been built for a very long time. This has been somebody, something that you've been able to establish strong connections with. Like I said, remember, this other one's very progressive. There's something here that this Cancerian feels like they help him out with. But what I have here too, look at that. The raven or the crow. This is a multi-dimensional kind of thing here. What else needs to come out? I have the Magician inside position. This comes to communication, Mercury, how we're communicating here. I have this Magician who's looking up at this karmic justice. And then I feel like they look back at the Cancerian. There has been miscommunication with this person. But again, wanting to manifest your ideal outcome, manifest holding on to this. This is what's leaving this karmic justice kind of like in limbo, I'm getting. And look at, what do we have on the bottom of the deck? Justice. So there could be a lot of trying to overbalance in one way to keep something. What else needs to come out to keep a kingdom? To keep a provider, to keep somebody who could be on the lookout for something else. Because this Emperor here has his eyes closed, sound in his position. And to me, the opposite would be an Emperor who is eyes open, wanting to move. Let's get a clarity card for the Emperor. What is the clarity card for the Emperor in reverse? It has to do with this karmic justice and this miscommunication. I have the Justice card. Look at how that came out after all. This card of personal integrity and fairness. Take responsibility for your own actions. Every action you take will have an effect. Be decisive. Move forward. Contract agreements and legal disputes are resolved in your favor. If you have been wrong, justice is assured. I feel like whoever this is, justice. I just get that deep down, in a sense, they were fighting it for so long for you. Because this justice isn't coming out in reverse. For them to give themselves karmic justice, they have to honor their path too. This is maybe why in the vibe, why it says it takes time for us to find ourselves. That means even for other people to find themselves. It takes years. It takes years. And for every 10 years, you know, we're a little bit different. We find ourselves a little bit differently. And whoever this other is in this Cancerian's frequency, they're trying to be fair. They're trying to be fair to themselves. They want to be fair to you too. I mean, what I get is they don't want to live a lie. What else needs to come out for the present? Look at that. Three of Wands here. Three of Wands here. Trying to figure out where to go and making the movements to go. What I get is this is definitely the rug going to be pulled out from under you. But it doesn't mean that this person is going to abandon you. The situation is going to abandon you fully. It's like, in a sense, they're going to keep a light on for you. Even in the darker times when you don't understand, you may be able to reach out and communicate with them still. Have a talk that's a little bit higher up on things that happen. Sometimes it takes time. It takes finding a balanced view onto why this just, it wasn't for you anymore, or it wasn't for them. I feel like even when you're gonna go reach to them when you are angry, they will still be there, really gracious with you. I get the feeling they know the degree that this is going to hurt you. What else needs to come out? Judgment. Not wanting to see this judgment. Yes. But the temperance from one view into another, balancing. The hardest thing is letting go. The hardest thing is letting go right now. I feel like the letting go is the hardest part for the Cancerian because it throws their journey into a direction that they don't understand. It throws them into a place, it's like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know if I go left. I don't know if I go right. Should I go forward? I know I can't go back. That's the only direction that's not being offered to them. Page of Coins. On this luck. I have Cancerian who wants to have a fit and keep stuff tied up. Literally, look at that, tied up. Now this is the part where it says do it in the name of love. As much as you want to be upset at everything that's happening in this situation, this rug getting pulled out from under you, how when you have your reactions can you still ground yourself out to how you really feel about this person, place, or thing? How much that this hurts you so much because of how much you care. Now, can you take how much you care and really see yourself trying to bound this situation down for it to only be one way and never fully able to grow in the way that it's meant to flourish? Can you be okay 10, 15, 20 years from now knowing that you held it back or that it held itself back for you? Or vice versa, that you held yourself back for it. What I hear is then we'll be at that time thinking about missed opportunities. What I heard is get it off your chest. You gotta say how you feel. You gotta say what you mean. Tell them about it. Tell them straight about it when you have these conversations of the traditions and the expectations that you were hoping for, that you wished would have happened. Because if not, this will go unresolved and then we'll get a closed off heart chakra and a stuck root chakra. You have to be truthful that you're upset about certain rules, certain traditions, certain agreements, something that you were really hoping for. There's something here that we have to be honest about. What else needs to come out? Knight of Wands, Three of Swords. Oh, I was wondering if this had to do with the younger energy than you. Look at this. Oh, man. When whoever is going to come in with their truth, it's their truth. They're tired of self-sabotaging. They're tired of taking away from them, for somebody else. You may not see it from that view, but this is how they see it. And this is why they're making the decision to be truthful with themselves, to be truthful with you. Now what happens is when we get really hurt, we get into this Queen of Wands. We want to fight back. What ends up happening is you go into like a sibling rivalry where you hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you back kind of thing. And I just want to make you feel how I feel. That's what I see with a lot of this passion. There, you could even lead it up to throwing stuff around. What I see with this one is batter up. But both of you are so charged in this situation because of how much you care. How much you care. You both are alike in senses. You both are. You both react the same way. This is really cute. You guys are more alike than what you know, whatever this situation is. But what it could be, and what I'm getting, is this situation is challenging what the norms. What were the norms? What are the expected norms? What it could be is because we have remembered that mirrored insecurity that I was talking about earlier. What it could be is the journey that this Cancerian never took themselves. Maybe there was a past time where there was an opportunity to, but it never happened. They never invested work into that direction. So this is, it could be, it almost feels like a parent and child, a mentor and a child. It almost feels like that. It's some kind of energy. I get that. If you're trying to hold somebody back, it's because you want them to have a secure outcome. I get that, because you guys, when Cancerians love people, when they care about people, it's like Cancerians' accessories. Everything has its special place. Every person has their special place in your sacred home. But we got one here who wants to jump off the shelf. We got one here who wants to forge a direction that goes against what you've done. What is that saying? I'm hearing it now. Work smarter, not harder. Whatever this other one can bring in, it's definitely different. It is definitely different. Now, what is this third person here? Because I haven't picked up this third person energy yet. Because remember I told you third party? Maybe the third party has to do with the Hierophant. The traditions. Maybe I have it reversed and this is the side that Cancerian's on, and in the back pocket here we have our traditions that we're used to whipping out and speaking upon. Using, those are our foundations. When it comes to dilemmas, we refer back to the traditional teachings kind of thing. Because I haven't had a third person pop up, unless whatever the rug is being pulled out from under has to do with this other going towards another endeavor that they feel like is more similar to them. I'm not sure. I am not sure. But let's go ahead and get started in the block. Angels and ancestors. Angels and ancestors. What is it that needs to come out? So what I'm getting is my throat here that wants to, what I feel is like rage out my opinion. I want to yell it out. I want to say how much I don't agree with something. But then on the other side, I hear that quote, stop, think about it. So that could be a key here. Before a Cancerian goes off on somebody, stop and think about it. I had read something, we'll go on a detour, that says before you send out an emotional text, an emotional email, stop, sleep on it, get up with the next day, and if you still feel the same way, then proceed. But if you don't, then you saved yourself a little bit of a headache. So the power of patience, the power of waiting, the power of just active listening. Instead of listening to this person when they want to come out with their truth, instead of just listening to them to react, listen to them to hear their words. That's what active listening is. A lot of people don't know how to active listen. And right here, if we're just going to listen to react, well, ooh, could bring down the house or something. But if you actively listen, then you, when it's your time to respond, you respond by reiterating everything that you heard this person say. And that person's going to confirm to you if you heard them or if they got to explain it a different way to you. You're completely stepping out of reaction mode and you're just sitting and observing and taking in the information that's coming in. And maybe that's the time where you sleep on it and you think about it, and then the next day is when you respond to it. Alright, so let's go ahead into the block. Angels, 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 and ancestors. What is it that needs to come out for this Cancerian's block? What is it? Oh, you just want to hold on to something. Don't want to let it go. What don't we want to let it go? Why? Well, you feel like you're fair enough. You feel like you've given so much. You have so much to give. A very guiding energy who has been able to oversee many things, learned many things, many truths from others, watching others. We're playing the experience card, dare I say the age card, where we say, well, we've been through more, so I know better. Is it that card that we're playing? Yeah, here comes the Hermit. I feel like definitely saying that, you know, we have the knowledge. We've been around. We're not this young person with this young view anymore. But also with the Hermit in reverse, the Hermit in reverse talks about trusting others. And this makes sense, is you're not going to trust what this person's saying because you don't agree with it. In a sense, you kind of see them being young and being dumb. They don't know how to put their investments. But like I said, if you take a step back, you listen, and you give it a night or something, then maybe you can understand this other as well. Because the Hermit here in the block is going to be over trusting of only your opinion and your experiences. But life, the whole world isn't just ran off of your experiences. You got to remember that there's a whole world out there outside of just your experiences. Yep, 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. You really want this person to understand that you've built it. You've done that. I've been there, done it. I know what I'm talking about. You're really stuck on how you've built your stuff, your success. I mean, that's a great thing that you've built your success. But I have this white Numan here who comes out in reverse. So this would be manifesting, going along with the Divine's program, basically. And its concert of life here. But you're going against it. That's that going against the intuition, going against letting things flow. That's being confused on when to hang on to something and when to let something grow. What else needs to come out for the block? A King of Wands. For this Knight of Wands energy, whoever this is, you don't have the outlook that they can do it. That's what I get. You don't think that they will have the oomph, or that they're being true to their passions. What I get is you think that it could be a trend, maybe like a phase, that they're kind of just doing what others are doing in a sense, but not realizing the effect it could have on their future kingdom, meaning their future outcome in life. Three of Pentacles, yeah. Collaborations, contracts. You worry about their future endeavors going this direction. You worried about their future fortune. You worry about their health if they go off in this direction too. I get the health is a big trigger here. You are definitely really worried about their health. Can I get a last card here? Five of Pentacles. You don't want somebody to be left out in the cold. This Nine of Wands. You don't want them to be left out in the cold. You don't want them to see I keep hearing the word failure. You don't want them to see the future failure that you feel like is going to be their outcome. You want them to stay in a space where you feel like they'll gain that success. I don't know. You hold it as your responsibility for them. It's your responsibility to keep them out of the cold still. But if this is about a Knight of Wands energy, this Knight of Wands energy is younger than you. You view them as an immature child. But I'm not getting the sense that they're a child. It's just that you see them from a childish view, or you see them as being childish, being too young to know stuff. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm just going to tell you, Cancerian, from mono. You can't live this person's life for them. You can't. You can't live out this situation's future for it. To be with a person, place, or thing. What you see as their failures may not actually be their failures. What you see as them risking their health, they could actually be a little bit smarter. Think about this. If you just speak your anxieties and your fears towards them, or to them, or about it, then you teach nothing. Whatever this is, this person has to be truthful to themselves. This endeavor has to happen for them. If not, then they never truly can see what their potential is. They never get to try and make a dream happen. And a lot of times for us to make dreams happen is if you have a good support system. If you have a good support system, it can be a very brilliant energy. But if you have a system that doesn't support you, this can drag down the charisma. So if you love this person this much, you love this situation this much, then in the moments that you have left with it, how can you step into a leadership position for them? How can you grab that key to destiny to fulfilling your part in their lives, your part in its life? Because we can't keep everything forever. We just can't. It's using a mother and child is a great example right now. A parent expects to raise their child to a certain age, and then a parent expects their child to have certain outcomes. And even parents will push certain things onto their children because of their own insecurities, their own fears. You can get this also with business owners. I've seen this with a business owner where they would project so much of their insecurities and fears into their business that they would literally hold their business back because they had to have so much control over any which way anything went. And when you do that, you constrict the growth. I mean, what I'm given as an example is to go out here to one of these trees and try and saran wrap it. Why? Because I don't want the elements to hurt it. I don't want it to get cold. I don't want it to get sunburned. Whatever freaking reason. I don't want it to get infested with bugs. It doesn't make sense because that tree needs all of that. How can you educate this situation? How can you fulfill your position? Because you can't hold on to everything forever. But what you can do is create a supportive system to where they can blossom all the way. And this is a karmic justice here, because you're going to be able to see how when you operate outside of your insecurities, how things can grow. This might teach you something too. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. It's hard when we love something so much. A lot of times we don't want to see the things that we love, the places that we care about, go through certain things. And we'll do everything to try and hold it with velvet gloves so it doesn't get broken, hurt, or any of that. But how do you expect anything to grow if it never gets any lessons? Remember, Bubble Boy eventually went out, even in their bubble. All right, so let's go ahead and take a dive into the conclusion. Divine and universal energy, what is the advice for the conclusion? What is the advice? Hostilities. That goes on to karmic justice. That goes on to this emperor in reverse. This goes on to the contracts. Like I said, when that sharp thought comes in and you want to react, you're going to hold whatever this is back by doing that. And you can hold it back in a lot of different ways. Remember, do it in the name of love. When you want to speak upon it, when you want to speak upon the situation, do it in the name of love. Do it out of love. Give yourself time. Because you definitely are going to want to react. That's here, definitely. Oh, man. What I have is world. And you're going to feel like this is going to rock your world. This is going to take your world away. This is a big be prepared. Be prepared. But understand that everything is divinely timed. To bring balance into things that are out of balance. And that is just the main goal of this other person, place, or thing. They want to create a balance for themselves. I have a man holding a coin and anxiety. You are so worried if this person's going to be successful. This is what you fret over day and night about this. Let's see what else. Healer of the ages, but it's in reverse. And this comes on to the world and the Queen of Wands. What I get is you gotta give this situation a chance. You gotta give it a chance to go far and wide. Because if you give it a chance to go far and wide, this does come into how you can bring a more progressive, a more developed, a more adventurous, or exploration into the views that you have. Especially when it comes into judging this situation, judging any other situation that's like that. And with the healer of the ages, you're going to have your diva side, like I said, want to pop out. But the healer of the ages here, let me read upon this. Let me go ahead and get my lighting going real quick. So, Healer of the ages. This is a powerful being, brings the force of ancient wisdom and profound healing. The divine consciousness pours from this person's hands and heart, flowing to your wish, love, and a powerful healing intention. This amazing entity is with you now, bringing resolution. Here we go. Bringing resolution to physical, mental, and emotional ills, helping to unblock stuck energy and revitalize your life force. I feel like when you open up to this situation, it is going to bring a sense of healing onto yourself. You might just see how you completed a cycle with something as well. Because when we hang on to the anxieties and the fears because we're trying to control a situation, then we never let anything out to make room for something new to come in. One of the things is again with a parent's kind of view is we have these certain expectations. And when these expectations don't get met in the ways that we want them to get met, we will overstress about it. And then we will fear for things that are about it as well. Instead of opening up to the flow of life, opening up to that we don't have the control over others, people, or places. The only true control we have is how we react to things. I like to be grateful every single day for the simple things in life, and I'm still working on that. It's an everyday kind of thing. And one of the things I am grateful for is to be able to have certain things at this time. Because life is short, and X amount of years, it's going to be really different for me. That happens with all of us. We can't hang on to everything being the same forever. It doesn't work like that. If we did that, then we'd all still have the the 80s? Those are the 80s big old brick cell phones. We'd all still be walking around with that. But we have evolved. We have evolved. If we haven't evolved, we'd still be hearing the, the AOL dial-in for the internet. But we don't. We have Wi-Fi now. We have evolved. But it took thinking outside of what once was. What were the traditions of once before. So let's go ahead and continue. I think I have 2 more cards. 1 more card that's left. All right. What is the last few cards here? All right. When it comes directly to this other, and this other going against what you were hoping for, patience. Stop. Think about it. How can you bring love and compassion, harmony, emotional balance, and forgiveness? Not for this one who's going to do their thing, but for you and what you feel like you're failing at, in a sense. Because if you're trying to hold on to something and prevent them, if you're trying to hold on to something and prevent the inevitable, there's a fear. And a lot of times it's a fear of failure. So how can you sit here and be harmonious with yourself? How can you be love and compassionate with yourself when confronting what this fear is? See that? The angel of love. Operating with this angel of love. How this situation is really important to you. It's really important to you. And it has to do with transformation. How can we let go of what we feel like is the ideal attachment for it? We have to let it go. We have to be patient. We got to take some time to think about it. But again, do it all in the name of love. Okay? All right, Cancerian frequency. This is going to conclude it. Whew, this was a doozy, but I'm glad we dove a little bit deeper, because I was wondering what was happening with that short story. Now it's making sense. I know we don't like to see others hurt. I know, especially for the ones that we hold close, we just want the best for them. But what's their best may not be our best. this is what I wanted to share earlier, and then I got off the track, was things change. Another good example was, what was it, about 5 years ago, somebody was suggesting on how I come up for a business name. And they said what you want to do is you want to come up with a letter A name because you're going to be at the front when people look you up. What? Especially for younger generation that don't understand this. What? This person was referring to the phone book. So us older folks remember the phone books, the yellow pages, and how the businesses in the business section was in alphabetical order, correct? So you always wanted your business name to be within the first few pages of whatever that letter was. And I had to tell this person that we don't use phone books anymore, and that your name doesn't depend on what order you come in on Google or when people search up certain things anymore. So with that example, just remember that times are changing. What we grew up with is not the same as what others grew up with. All right? And sometimes we get met with the energy who has a lot of energy to conquer their fears. We have to let them at times conquer their fears. But how can we best prepare them? How can we have open conversations with them so that when they're presented with different life situations that we wish wouldn't happen, but how can they be able to think through it or put their best foot forward when dealing with it, kind of thing? How can you empower them to where they're going to have a little bit more confidence in what they're doing? Because no matter what this person's heading out, it's their truth. It is their truth. And it's okay. It is okay because they are just as passionate as you are. At the end of the day, they are. And I feel like they have a lot of similarities to the Cancerian in this story. All right, I'm done. Cancerian, thank you so much for hanging out. And I hope y'all enjoyed this and that you have a most wonderful rest of your day.